Hello, everyone. Hi, and welcome. My name is Victor Reyes at Keichiokami, and we are here on Taletell uh, Games to celebrate May the 4th and BIPOC excellence. Um, I'm really excited to be here. Black Girls Code is an amazing Black Girl Code. Oh, I'm nervous. It's an amazing charity. Uh, we are going to be playing for your entertainment Galactic 2E by Riley Rezal. It is a belonging outside belonging game, a token-based uh, space opera, found family, uh, anti-fascist epic that focuses on like queerness and community and those aspects of Star Wars that really, in my opinion, are like why I love Star Wars and is at the heart of so many awesome Black and brown and queer folks who are fellow Star Wars fans. And I am excited to use this system to tell a story in a galaxy far, far away proper. So, we have adapted the playbooks very easily, and the setting elements very easily over to Star Wars for our game. Um, I'm going to be a facilitator. Traditionally, this is a GM-less game, and everyone participates with moves using tokens, sharing the setting elements, sharing the playbooks. But we're going to do things a little bit more traditionally. I, as facilitator, am going to be handling all of the setting elements. I will be playing the NPCs ad hoc to give the rest of the table room to breathe. So I'm not playing a playbook. But at any time, all of my players are free to look at the setting elements and be like, I want to do that. And we will be doing that because that is truly in the spirit of Galactic 2E. Right now, I am going to shut my bearded mouth and allow the rest of the table to introduce themselves. Do I have any volunteers for who would like to kick it off first? Anyone? Anyone? I'll pick
Okay.
one. The force tells me it should be Puja.
Okay. Hello, everybody. I am Puja. You can find me on Twitter at Puja, Pujabarwaki, everywhere else on the internet. And today I am playing a character of mine that I've played in another galaxy far, far away. Her name is Ahaisha. She is a very tall Togruta with brown skin and blue and white Leku and Montrals. And she is playing the Scoundrel playbook for those of you who are familiar with Galactic 2E. And for those of you who are not, let's just say she is up to no good at all times. Oh, and her pronouns are she, her, and so are mine.
Thank you for the pronoun reminder. Mine are he, they. Puja, pick the next person.
All right, I'm gonna go over to this side, I think. Diamond.
Oh no. Hi, I'm Madness Diamond, but you can call me Diamond since we're friends now. I will be playing the lovely Ace playbook, and my character's name is Alan. Alan is a human, other species hybrid. They use they them pronouns and I use they she pronouns. So you can refer to us both as they. They have a cocky smirk usually, determined eyes that are kind of a golden orangish color. Um, Usually their skin is somewhere between a pale yellow and kind of gold themselves, depending on how much light they've gotten. It depends because they're a pilot, so they're in their ship a lot. They're usually found wearing a customized helmet covered in a smattering of artwork and stickers and such and carvings, a vest made of a hodgepodge of different fabrics, and an old blaster that they found once upon a time in a galaxy not so far away to them. They're just kind of here for a chaotic time with this lovely group of people, just like I am. It's a one shot, so you gotta drive it like you stole it.
Absolutely. Diamond, would you like to pitch it next?
Yes, I'm gonna pitch it to Smiley.
Excellent. Cool. Hi everyone, I'm KingSmileyy. I go by KingSmileyy on all socials, except usually I have a little underscore at the very end of my name. I am playing the playbook The Defector. My character is named Javier, and they used to be part of the thing we're fighting.
Ooh.
Javier is a human with caramel tone skin, long hair, lightly dyed red, like red, and has a scar on the left side of their face. Whenever you look at them, if they're not doing anything, you can see that they have like weary eyes and a weak smile. While like they're usually wearing civilian clothes that just kind of, if you weren't directly looking at them, you'll be like, wait, I thought they were part of the background for a second. Um, Javier used to be one of the people who essentially did maintenance on the weapons of the bad people.
First Order.
Yeah, got really good at it, and after certain events, left, or like ran away. Yeah, so I don't know what else to say. So I shall.
All right. Would you like to popcorn that to next?
I'll give it over to Basil.
Everyone, I'm Basil. You can find me on Twitter at Kobanya_Kana, and you can find me as Kobanya pretty much everywhere else. Today I'll be playing Crow Saltis. They, them. My pronouns are he, they, z, but they, them is also fine for both of us. Crow is using the mechanic playbook. They are a black human with 2 long braids that are this sort of festooned with hair ties. I kind of envision them as like a bunch of like ribbon style hair ties rather than rubber bands, because I swear those things don't actually contain braids. Just they snap off as soon as you breathe.
Yep.
So yeah, they basically just kind of tinker around with whatever's nearby and just kind of roam around fixing things, whether they were to or not. That's just kind of how they are. I'll go ahead and pass it over to Ava.
Hello, my darlings and dears. It's your Madam Ava here, otherwise just known as Ava. Today, I'm going to be playing Estelle from the Nova Playbook, aka I Am Your Jedi for today. We both use she, her pronouns, and she is a humanoid. She doesn't know exactly what type of humanoid, but she is at least humanoid. Sunken, green, dazzling eyes that just seem to have a hint of tiredness to them. Wild white hair that just seems to billow wherever she goes. As all Jedis tend to do, she still dons the dark brown robes, even though, for reasons that she has not disclosed, she wouldn't really call herself much of a Jedi these days. Some shenanigans happen, leaving her panicked and very tired, and without a father figure, because that just tends to happen to Jedis. From what I know from my research, not really great father figures, y'all. So I'm happy to
No.
get started.
Okay, well, so let's jump right in to one of my favorite parts about this game. So Galactic 2E treats what a lot of games consider to be like session zero stuff to be actively part of play. So we left our last step of session zero because I wanted to introduce you all to the characters. And now we're going to ask each other spicy questions. There might be a little bit of RP that is going to explain how the group got together, and from those explanations, where our group is going to start to go on their mission that they have received from General Leia. So, in reverse order that we just did, as best as we can, let us ask the bond questions, the ask one left, ask one right questions at the bottom of everyone's playbook. And build relationships. Every player feel free to go ahead and take little notes in our Galactic 2E network Google Doc. And so that we can continue forward in the story, knowing what the answers are and how we are all friends until the end of our space opera epic. We're starting with our Nova.
Let's see. For Basil, what secret do you know about me?
It's a good question. Gosh, let me think. I feel like I feel like it's probably the kind of secret that maybe Estelle is not entirely aware that Crow knows. I kind of see Crow as like the person that does not sleep that often. So maybe while Estelle was asleep, you were dreaming about your past, and Crow was just kind of wandering around as they do with her insomnia, just kind of mildly fixing up things, and maybe overheard you talking in your sleep about like your about your mentor. I guess we can maybe do that as a secret.
Okay, nice. I like that. And then I believe,
Oh, may I
okay,
offer a escalation question?
sure.
What if uh what if they actually saw the ghostly apparition of
Mm,
Luke, like in the room, like while they were like communing, like a more like direct manifestation of the Force? That seemed weird.
I'm down for that.
Yeah,
She tends to keep that pretty close to the chest.
yeah. I'm fine with that. I think Crow would be a little creeped out and probably just never bring it up. He'd be like, "Huh, must be another sleep deprivation hallucination. All right."
Take a step back.
Wonderful.
Please continue.
So I guess we're trying to judge by like the way the overlay is. I guess Puja, you will be my left person, or I
Okay.
could guess pointing down. So you, hmm, why have you been worried about me recently?
Um, I think I have noticed you spending an unusual amount of time alone. Uh, and looking unsettled when you reemerge. And especially if I don't know your past, but I know that, I guess, I know that you can manipulate the Force? Do I know that?
I think everyone at least knows that she is Force sensitive.
Okay, so I know you're Force sensitive, so there's a lot of stories out there about what the Force can do to people. And so I think especially if you're keeping things close to your chest, I think I'm a little just concerned about whether or not you're okay, whether things are starting to overwhelm you or not. And so it's just kind of keeping like one of those like, worried friend eyes out for like, is my friend like, is everything under control? Because I don't want to step in if you've got this. But I'm keeping an eye out in case it looks like you don't got this.
I like that. Do I ask everyone else, or is it just the two?
It's just the two.
Done.
So those who we will go to, I said reverse order, right?
Yep.
Would be
So it'll be
next.
Basil.
All right, there we go. Question.
Yeah, I don't have the Twitch up because I'm pretty sure my laptop would melt, so I'm not actually sure who is to the left or right of me.
No worries. You have Ava and KingSmileyy.
Okay. So who's directly to the left of me?
That'd be Ava.
Ava.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, that's just recursive. So, let's do, what did I lend to you recently?
What would the mechanic lend to me recently? I think you lent me. Yeah, let's go with it. I think you lent me a music box that you were just finishing tinkering with. Um, Estelle, she does sleep, but sometimes has an uneasy time with the visions, um, and just the nightmare trauma. Uh, so I think you notice that she at least appreciates music on occasion. So just one day, while she was by herself, just trying to ponder, I could see Crow just plop a music box down and just leave as fast as possible without any other words saying wise. But she always appreciated it.
Yeah, I really like that. So then my other question for Javier would be, uh, why have I been on your mind recently?
It's your job that reminds me, that is why you've been on my mind. You remind me of my past. I used to be essentially someone who had to work on blasters, anything that came to me, with like anything that needed to be fixed, I would have to do it. And I would gladly do it. I got really efficient into it. And I see you work, and it reminds me of my previous life, the life I had before coming here.
Okay, I like that.
Hey.
Hmm. That would be my turn.
Yes. It's like I did this on purpose.
Okay. So I would ask Crow, what was the first thing you noticed about me?
Uh, say probably the first thing the crow noticed is like how weary and tired Javier looked. Because again, with crows like sort of insomnia and late night wanderings, they're probably like, "Oh, cool, you don't sleep either. I get it." So I feel like it's like, "Oh, hey, a kindred spirit. We'll probably both be up at 3 a.m. drinking something, staring out the window.
Yeah. It's cool. I like that. I like that. Fits with Javier. Okay. Allie.
Yes.
Why do I trust you more than anyone else here?
Ooh, why do you trust me more? Because I am very good at swaying others towards the cause that I believe is most fun and can do the most good and bring interesting things into their life. And upon meeting Javier, my first instinct was you could use some fun in your life.
Okay. Yeah. I like that.
That's really cool.
I also
All
play
right.
some with my skills.
All right. The circle continues.
It is my turn.
It's
Um, so on my left, I have Puja.
Mhm.
Um, do I impress or exhaust you? You're muted.
I hard muted my mic so that it wouldn't get in the captions when I react to things verbally. So while you were talking, I'm like, ooh, yes, ooh. You don't need that in the captions. But yes, I'm impressed by you because I definitely am known for my recklessness and my impulsiveness, and I think we feed off of each other in a way that is really helpful in getting things done. And so yeah, I think I really dig your energy and especially your ability. I think we both might share this, like the ability and desire to like talk people into doing things and like convincing them to like take risks and see things our way. So I think we make a good team.
Absolutely. And then for Javier, um, why did I put myself in danger for you? You wanted spice.
I did. I really did. Why did you put yourself in danger for me? That is a good question. Hmm. Mm. You it was one of the times you tried to show me a good time. One of the times you tried to show me how to have fun. But on this excursion, we ran into some trouble specifically because of me.
Okay.
And you didn't want our experience to like experience together, me having fun, to be ruined because of this. Yeah.
Puja, it's your turn.
Okay. Let's see. So
Got this.
I will start with Ava. How have I grown on you recently?
I think Aisha Estelle has made mention that she does remember a lot of her childhood before she took up her studies of the Force, but she has vague memories of feelings and of warmth. And for some reason, Aisha reminds her of maybe someone that she knew before that
Mhm.
gave her a sense of warmth.
Oh, who could it be? We don't know. Maybe it is Aisha. We'll never know.
We find out they're siblings this entire time.
Ah! I mean, it would be pretty funny. All right, and then on my other side, Diamond. Do we feed into it or do we go against it? That is interesting.
Trust your instinct. Trust your gut.
Oh,
Go with the chaos.
okay, chaos. What did I do to make you wrongly believe I don't care about you?
Oh,
The other option was, how did I get you tangled up in my escapades recently? But I'm like, that's like going with what we've established. Let's go against it.
I feel like going off of what I know about your characters, the way you play your character, especially with the many love interests across the galaxy, I feel like something happened upon us running into one of them. The interaction was going maybe really well and then not really well
Me?
because this person probably has the same dynamic that we have now of feeding into each other.
Yeah.
And Alan thought, oh, that's the original, like, and I'm just the replacement. But at
No.
least I'm a good pilot.
Oh, my heart.
And so that just kind of sits in the back.
You're not the replacement. They were just the practice round.
The way we're gonna run it.
Okay, I love it.
We are in for it. And so with that, we are in so many different places emotionally. So what I'm gonna do is uh see here. Introduce dangerous plans and ask others to participate. I am going to give a token to I'm going to give a token to our Nova, and I want to ask. Uh, so the plan that is being offered with this token, General Leia has conscripted you and this band, the pilot of a ship that Ace. What's the ship called?
The ship is called. Ooh, I think the ship is going to be called Biopic.
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 All right. General Leia sends an encrypted message to you, telling you that you need to get that file that you have, that encrypted message and a piece of holocron. Looks like a mini holocron. To Jakku as soon as possible. And what do you do?
She tells everyone as quickly as possible. I think even though she's very immediate with it, because she knows the importance of this, there is a building stress, a building of paranoia that's coming from this. Because if we're now getting this order to send this encrypted file all the way to Jakku, it's just like, well, that means this is gonna be a chase, and she is terrified who will be the one hunting them.
You all have a name. The name is Lor Santeca. You have a location. You have a planet. I'm going to ask you all collectively an incredibly important question. Where in the core worlds are you?
I don't know Star Wars planets, so
Oh, okay.
I'll leave this to
No
everyone
worries.
else.
You know what? What kind of core world are you in? Let's do that. Are you in a forest planet? Are you in a busy metropolitan city? Let's keep it broad. So, like, generally speaking, you're in the core worlds right now, kind of laying low, because the New Republic, for the most part, is still in power at this point. But you have to get to the Outer Rim. So where do you want to start? What kind of place are you guys?
Urban, because fun.
Yeah, urban. Okay. You know what? Let's lean
Lots
in.
of people, lots of connections.
Lots of people, lots of connections. You know what? Let's go deeper. Let's say we're on oh god, what's that big city state? Where Clone Wars is. Oh gosh, comment. So, hold on, just said it. City Planet, Star Wars. I know this. I watched. I love Star Wars. City Planet, Star Wars. See, this is why we have
Information
Google.
to keep in your head.
Coruscant.
Oh yes.
We're in so many games set in Coruscant. Why did I remember that? Let's start in Coruscant. You're in like the back alleys of Coruscant. You get this message directly from the Galactic Senate. But where are how are you guys getting from Coruscant to the Outer Rim?
Ship, right?
Yep, you got your ship.
This is difficult.
What are you thinking, Javier?
So someone's after us. We obviously have to take a stealthy route, but they said as soon as possible. I suggest we find a connection among the scum to see if they know a path that can allow us to evade detection.
You're talking about a smuggler's route, aren't you?
That is one way to put it.
Oh, I knew you were going to be so much fun. And Alan just squeezes like your shoulders. Is so excited.
Okay, I am. Tell me. I'm gonna do a scum and villainy move.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you a token. To our Ace. And I would. How do you get the group involved into a dangerous scheme?
Ooh.
So take a token, and you get in the narrative pilot seat and tell me how you get everybody in trouble.
Oh, immediately. Alan just goes right to it's Aisha, right?
Aisha.
Aisha, sorry. My brain likes to add vowels.
You're all good.
Alan goes right to Aisha and is just like, we need to go find a smuggler's route, and I know you know someone. And I feel like the two of us tell the others that we're going on an adventure because one of Alan's most favorite things is trying something new, and
Excellent.
we end up in the
Excellent.
wrong place.
Aisha, describe to me the montage of the kind of shady people and Coruscant's underworlds that you deal with that leads to you guys getting in over your heads.
Okay. So let's see. Alan said we gotta find a sketchy way to get from A to B. Aisha gets working. You kind of get a montage of Aisha going to a random store, a bar, a like extra parts warehouse for ship parts, and having seeming to have like normal conversations, but then like the passing of papers like slips back and forth,
Mhm.
getting information, getting connections from it. Okay, well, I don't know how to get to exactly this place, but I know a way that can
Mhm.
get you to like 3/4 of the way there, and but talk to this guy, he knows the way to get the rest of the way. And so we slowly start charting a route, and I think the montage cuts back to us on the ship, like putting those pieces together to like map out our route. So it's a little, I think what we end up with is something a little circuitous. Um, there's definitely what I imagine to be driving through, not driving, flying through like large parts of what would be our equivalent of flying through the middle of driving through the middle of Australia, where there's just like nothing there. It's
Ooh.
like if things happen, if things go wrong out there, we're risking getting
Oh,
stranded.
so you do find a path, but it's a bad one.
I think it's a bad path because it's smugglers' routes. Like we got to go the roads less traveled, and I think
Okay.
the danger of a path less traveled is, being ready that if no one's going to hear a distress beacon out there. But that also means we're not going to run into mandate officers and ships out there. So it's
Uh,
risky in that sense.
so what I would like to do with, if the table is cool with it, is that we're gonna jump cut to the middle of nowhere. Can't get a distress signal out. It's one of those dead spaces. And while you are in that space, uh, it everything is just like dead, quiet, except for the sound on the inside of the ship. The music box in uh, Estelle's quarters. And there's a stillness out there as you're quietly making your way through. And Estelle gets a token as suddenly you feel like a pocket of pure force energy just kind of reverberate through you, like almost like a spring, as you're like riding through, and it's just like, and all of a sudden you just get a very intense vision of Gareth, like as if he is in the room. Gareth Wren is a handsome young man with a scraggly beard, blondish, reddish. He looks worn, but fit and determined. And it is the face you know is under the mask. And the kind face of your best friend, and cold timber of one fully indoctrinated into the First Order, says to you, found you, and then you come back to. What do you all do? You're
You just
essentially...
hear
Oh, go ahead.
the strongest scream just go out from her room.
Aisha runs. This is kind of a little bit. Maybe is this what Aisha's been scared of this whole time when it comes to Estelle? We don't know. We're going in.
He's found us. He's found us. He's coming after us.
Ooh.
My shadow. He's
Estelle,
after us.
take another token.
Mhm.
Foreshadow a larger threat. And
Oh.
that's a move from the First Order.
They know who we are. He's coming. He's found us. I'm so sorry. I don't know how he found me. We have to keep going. I don't
It's so strange because, like, do you have the ship on like an autopilot, or did you stop the ship?
We stopped.
Aisha. Oh, you stopped the ship? Okay, all right. You feel like even though you are in deep distress, you feel like you are floating in a bath of the Force. Like, this part of space has like just a spring of Force energy, and it's not light, it's not dark, it just is. It's just very like kind of flowing through you, which you know that this would help him too. But right now, like, it's... And take that, how are you reacting to that? Being bathed in the Force, but also in distress.
I think in a moment of panic, I'm going to spend a token for one of my strong moves. And I would like to use the space between or the force to protect the crew. And I think because the ship has stopped right now, I think in just that pure adrenaline, she's just going to just like reach back and push as hard as she can to jumpstart the ship and just bolt.
So, when you do that, as you channel the Force, there is almost like a bubble of light that just sort of envelops the ship, and like everything turns on all at once, and then it like slingshots you to like... It looks like hyperspace. It's fast like hyperspace, but it's not anything that the ace or the scoundrel has encountered before. Javier,
Yes.
what is the planet that you end up landing on? Like, near. Like, when the slingshot ends, where do you end up appearing?
Star Wars planets.
What kind of planet are you you want to be near?
Planets list.
Hmm?
No, I'm I'm looking at
Like a
planet.
forest planet.
I think Nabo.
Naboo?
Naboo.
Naboo? Oh, that's okay. Slingshot and then woof, you just sort of appear like over Naboo, and you're all able to just kind of breathe and take in a moment. You see, various vessels in orbit, relatively quiet. It's still legally peacetime. But you are off your smuggler's track. But he's gone. You can't sense him.
What was that?
Yeah.
What was that? Are you okay?
I can breathe a bit easier,
Great.
but
Good.
I know who was going to be hunting us on this track. Do you know of the name Gareth Wren?
We
You
need
may
a
know
ride.
it if you would like.
I mean, is it-
You know
Okay.
that Gareth Wren is the left hand of Kylo Ren. He is one of the Knights of Ren and direct service to the leader of the First Order, Chancellor Snoke. Like, he is dangerous. Like, he's the kind of person that gets, like, dispatched to deal with, like, New Republic agents or bounty hunters, like powerful bounty hunters that have been hired by the New Republic.
Yeah.
Like, the Gareth Wren is is a ghost.
Yeah.
You don't even know what Gareth Wren looks like because they're all in masks. You know what his armor looks like.
Yeah.
You know he wields a nasty looking halberd, lightsaber halberd.
Oh. Oh. Gareth Wren is chasing. Oh. I'm gonna go start my eulogy now. Okay. Yeah.
Basil, are you building anything that will get you out of here faster? What kind of plan B did you have in case you got off track?
Yeah, so I think with Crow's mostly just been like keeping an eye on things and looking at meters and dials and the levels of stuff, keeping stuff topped off. I think probably when Estelle screamed for like a half moment, they kind of called out like, they find this surprise, like they put a little surprise in the music box, but then kind of realized that that's not like a oh yippee scream and more of a horrifying, I had the marsh lizard nightmare again kind of scream, and they're like maybe I should, but then they saw Ahisha kind of just bolt off, and they're like no, she's got it. I think definitely after the ship, like, went into pseudo hyperspace, they were like, wait, what are we doing? Just kind of looking at things, kind of the meters and readings and dials kind of getting off the charts.
While you're doing that, you find something super weird. So one of the things you've collected in your travels is like a zoo, not a Pokedex, but like a zoo exobiology like book, right? Like every planet you go to, you try to learn about what pests or what species will inhabit your ships so you can like keep them clear. And it has like energy readings on it. You'd be like, oh yeah, there's a Skazar 4 rat in the conductor panel. Let me just, deal with that, blaster. Like, or, cheese and, however you feel like you want to handle it. And the energy readings that you are getting off of match the space whales from Lothal.
I think probably at that Crow kind of shakes their like little scanner thing, like, okay, something's wrong,
Like,
and
you know that they migrate
yeah.
along like space highways, but you're just like, what? Like, people can't do that. They can do that. So I just wanted to give you that, like, while you're doing your readings and you're looking. Is there any moves you would like to make, or any information you want to share with the group, like while you're looking through?
Um, I think. Let me see. So when that scan went through, it's saying that like sort of whale energy reading is that coming from outside the ship or inside the ship?
Inside.
Okay. Um. Yeah, Uh. I think. Looking at the reading and just sort of like looking around at the walls again. Um. I think Crow is just kind of just gonna call out. Um. To whoever can hear, because I feel like Crow kind of that person that just kind of talks in general and is just kind of waiting for someone else to pick up their side of the conversation. As I
Right.
as I reveal my awkward youth, um, and just kind of just call out like, "Hey, so I'm gonna use a vulnerable move and admit when I don't understand something, and just say, "Hey, I don't understand what's going on. I don't get these readings. There's a whale on or in the ship. Did you guys smuggle some jellied whale meat tins in here again? I pretty sure those are not actually digestible. I think they're mildly radioactive."
Love it. Take that. Oh wow. Uh-oh. I think you're muted. Uh-oh.
Whale meat? Whale meat? Do
Yeah,
we carry whale meat?
Not for a few years.
I don't know what to tell you. The scanners are just it's really wigging out.
Um,
It may have been me. Maybe. I don't know. I never tried that before.
how
I didn't know we
how
could
far
do that.
away? There. So sorry, just to recap, did your scanners picked this up on the ship?
Yeah, on the ship. I think it's weird too. There's not enough
Where
space in the ship for a whale. That's why I
did it
thought maybe someone had those little potted cans again.
did it ping a location? We'll check it out.
So I'm gonna make a move as the space between.
Okay.
And it says I'm gonna reveal a new truth to someone. I'm giving you a token, Basil. As you're doing your readings, there is enough residual energy floating on the ship as you're going to slingshot you again to Jakku. It could be risky, and considering that from what your readings are, it appears like the energy is coming from Estelle.
Mm.
But it's not in Estelle anymore. It's permeating in the ship. There's like particles in the ship of this odd energy that you don't like. It's only through the fact that you are like have this energy signature for these space whales that you were even able to like see it. It was just like that finite because you were looking for it. But you can harness it if you want to. What do you all do? There are other ways of getting there. By the way, this is just an option. You have other moves, you have other resources. But right now you have a mission and you've shaken off Gareth Wren for now.
I'm gonna use a strong move
Mhm.
to spend the token that I have. And I'm going to take the lead in a moment of confusion or despair,
Mhm.
because this is my ship.
Yeah.
I
Understandable.
built this thing with my 2 hands.
John
Um,
Williams' score starts to swell.
uh, Alan comes into a doorway. They look very wrapped, and they have their helmet on. It's on backwards, and they turn it forward, which is kind of weird because they have horns along the side of their face. And just, which one of you moved, BB?
Sorry. Sorry. I didn't know I could
It
do
was,
that. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry.
oh, good. It was one of you and not something else outside.
Sorry.
That's fine. Okay. We are way off track. We need to get back on track. We are all going to go into the cockpit with me, all of you, and we are going to look over the maps that we have of this area because I don't want to stay in Naboo. I don't think I'm welcome there.
In a
So,
matter. Got it. Go ahead.
no, that's
Uh,
it. It is
Oh, in a
just
matter of moments, just to kind of facilitate, you look at the maps. You are back on track without having to use weird slingshot magic. You figure it out. You get through. But I will say, you do get a sample of some of those particles, Basil.
Nice.
Like you're able to get it like sealed, like so you can continue to study them as a new means of potential hyperspace travel.
I think Crow's gonna pretty much do that immediately. Like as soon as they've got it in the container, they have gone, found a corner, kind of just gotten a little blanket and a clipboard, and they're just gonna like, oh y'all got it. I believe in you. And it's just gonna.
Estelle's also gonna like go
Oh,
back to
excuse
her
me.
room very quickly and bring a couple of scrolls or data scrolls and
Mhm.
just lay them out for Crow. It may help. It may help,
There are these
just in
beautiful
case.
illustrations of hand painted whales um flying through space in these like really old languages as you kind of set the scroll. And Estelle, you can feel like a low hum of force energy coming from uh, like the particles, but it's so like it's not at all like the kind of cold sanitary nonsense that you learned in the academy, or you learned about the old academy. you know um uh Mitochondria is nonsense, or at least that's what your old master told you. But this is not that. This is not this is like, this almost reminds you of the time you took a pilgrimage to Dagomar. It was very short. Uh, but it was like, this is like primal force energy that is neither dark nor light. It just is. You go through.
Now,
Oh, go ahead.
what should we do now? Alan, I don't know if you heard, but Gareth Wren is the one after us, which is why I kind of panicked and shot us out.
There's nothing to do. I'm going to take a vulnerable move as soon as they say that. And re- reveal a harmful belief you have not unlearned.
Oh,
Ooh.
okay. So
oh,
what do you say?
As soon as you say that, like this entire time you have seen like Javier actually writing, and they're like, oh yeah, there's nothing we can't do. There have been stories essentially back when I used to be with the Force Order. There were stories about Garfriend. Yeah. They all were the same, which were, if Garfriend is after you, you're already dead. So I'm gonna be writing my will. Cool.
Mm,
And that gives me a token.
I think Ahisha's response to that is, I don't know. This isn't the first time we've had somebody after us. I've outrun a lot of bounty hunters in my lifetime, and we've got some. This group has a lot of talent. I think we'll be fine.
I'm not worried about us, Estelle. I'm more so worried about whatever's possibly going on with you, and also Javier, that has the two of you looking very shaken.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I kind of trust the other two to look after you, but at the same time, gonna gain a token with a vulnerable move and ask, what makes me most vulnerable in the situation? I'm just the pilot.
Is that a question to the group? Or okay.
Okay.
Everyone who's in this conversation, and also the
Yeah.
universe that we.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I will. Whoever would like to talk about the answer to this question, it's got to be true, right? So let's try and make a good consensus. So please repeat the question so I can think about it because I thought it was to the two players. Uh,
What makes me vulnerable in this situation? And I added the flavor of I'm just the pilot.
I think it's because you do not have the Force. Gareth Wren is a dangerous dark Force mystic. Gareth Wren is trained as a bounty hunter and is an unknown, and that is how your character is vulnerable. You're dealing with literally space magic, and you're not trained to deal with that, except for in a dogfight context. Are you talented enough to, like, outmaneuver Kylo Ren? Possibly, if he doesn't use the Force to cheat. And that is how you're vulnerable from the facilitator's perspective. However, if your fellow players believe that narratively you're vulnerable in a different way, I'm happy to pull that back and edit.
I want to keep that as what is Alan's internal thought
Mhm.
process, kind of
Okay.
having this realization of putting pieces together
Okay.
while Javier is talking about Gareth Wren.
Okay.
And if he's the one hunting you and knowing the Knights of Ren, knowing like the order, just because of the world we live in. So,
Yeah.
I love that.
Yep. Okay.
Players?
Other players?
I think you're
yeah.
vulnerable because you're not Estelle. I think the only reason that she was able to get away is due to having that relationship with him before he completely turned. So she could possibly be able to escape another time, but she can't guarantee that for everyone else.
I don't
Hey.
think Ahisha has anything to add just because I think we share the same vulnerabilities.
Okay, here we go. Okay, I got you. I got
Because
you.
we're just two little guys in a magic world.
Right.
We're just doing crime.
Doing
Just have
crime.
fun. Doing
Yeah, we're just having
crime.
a good time.
Right. New Republic. It's so permissible. We can do whatever,
Hmm.
right? There'll be no
Right.
consequences, right? Javier, what do you
I'm
got?
I'm going to. This is just me still like personifying the whole harmful belief thing.
Yeah.
So it isn't like in a token, it's just me personifying it. Like, you're vulnerable because you're not one of them. You're vulnerable because you weren't trained. You're vulnerable because in their eyes, we are nothing but ants.
All right.
You arrive on the dark side of the planet. What do you guys do? You are over the desert planet of Jakku. It's a big planet. It's lots of places. You have the coordinates to the settlement that you need to go to.
I think Alan is going to pull Estelle into the cockpit with them.
Oh no, am I in trouble?
No, you're never in trouble. No one's ever in trouble. I
Okay.
just do that because if I don't, someone's gonna try to sit in my pilot seat.
Okay.
But you have the coordinates, right?
I do, yes.
All right. Then I dub thee Navigator. For the
Ah,
hecker. All
no, no.
right. All right. All right.
You're supposed to meet your contact in the we're gonna make something up. What's the name of the market? A cool name. Safaru Market. Big huge trade hub. Near relatively near the community. It's got its own like water moisture extractor fountain. It's run by a somewhat shady individual, an Athorian by the name of uh Kotif. Uh and uh that is where you're supposed to be like rendezvousing with Kotif at his establishment, where you will be getting a Land Rover, which will take you directly to the. Well, it's where you will get the coordinates so that you can fly your ship to the village. It's like the final step because General Leia has been having to do all of this behind proxies, so she doesn't get audited by the Galactic Senate for espionage,
As one does.
as one does. So can would you guys like to jump to uh Fazian's market?
It's fuzzy market.
Yee.
Eventually, Estelle will calm down and actually do the core navigation.
Yes.
It's like, I just need you to push 2 buttons. That's it. It's like, oh, okay, fine.
Just pull up spaceways.
Just can't read the handwriting.
So you all are able to like land, at the spaceport. We're improvising here.
Yeah,
Paralore. That's what we're gonna call it. So you're at the spaceport. It's a place called Taralore. And you're in this market in the middle of the desert. It is. Do you go at night? Question. Nighttime or daytime? How
I
Star
vote
Wars do
night
we
for
want to
the-
go?
Yeah, night for the vibes.
Night for the vibes?
I would have said
Yeah, we
Desert
want
night?
to see, we want to see those
Vibes.
lightsabers glow.
Yeah, so you guys so the ship comes in, right? And just like kind of lands in this little flat spaceport in this desert trade market. It is lit by lanterns of all kinds of different colors, and lack of color, bright white and vibrant, but also purples and blues and reds and pinks and oranges and all a matter just standing out in stark contrast in a vast open dome of stars, occasionally interrupted by wisps of clouds in the desert night. You walk through this marketplace, all kinds of smells, frankincense, myrrh, cinnabar, and other various spices from all across the galaxy, not just ones that Terrans and humans are from. There's all sorts of interesting species from different planets. Everything that you would imagine in a galaxy far, far away makes a little bit of a cameo as the camera kind of sweeps by our young incognito resistance members making their way through the shadows. You arrive at a lively joint, something that's sort of a cross between like a vaudeville club, a jazz club, and a dive bar, and a place. And you walk in, and there's tables. There's a huge circular bar. There are all these people of all these different ethnicities and races, all drinking together. Some of them are smoking hookah. There's like little VIP areas where they have like the circular couches and the tables. People are playing all kinds of like light games in the middle of the, next to their tables. Some people are playing like 3D chess. It's a lively joint. People are drinking, people are eating, having a good time. There are very attractive, dancers of multiple genders and species that are entertaining everyone on like, elevated tables. And if anybody gets too close, their hand gets zapped. And there is this, I want to say like 7.5 to 8 foot tall Athorian, which are the aliens that have like a flat face that kind of round up, and then they have like little beady eyes, and they don't have a mouth. And they're very tall, and they have long, gangly limbs, and kind of stretchy necks. Well, this one is like 8 feet tall. Is his skin is almost like a dark, dusky cask, almost, and he has a fabulously fitted purple suit, like overrobes on with underrobes that are like lavender pastel, and then he has like this really weird like flat screen like mouth harness in front of like the bottom half of his mouth, which has sort of almost like a LED display of a mouth. And there's like a speaker system, like a little like MIDI speaker system, that look like a really fancy piece of tech jewelry, but they're like polished and that kind of emit sound waves so that you all can hear him speaking in Galactic Common. And as you make your way up, and he's like, aha, welcome to Fazan. How are you enjoying my establishment? Please come. Sit. Sit.
I
I think
And like the mouth keeps like moving and being expressive, and it's like perfect teeth. And occasionally it will switch to the mouth of what native species you are while engaging in conversation with you.
I love this so much.
This is some,
Very cool.
like, Crow, this is some advanced. This is custom. This is custom tech. Someone took like a universal translator and like a game rig, usually that people like a personal game like hand computer, and like did something. But it's a beautiful piece of tech.
Yeah, I think with Crow, let me see. So the thing I had in mind for Crow is that at some point before they got off the ship, they had sort of distilled some of that energy they had in the container into a smaller vial about that big, and they probably just kind of have that on their person for later usage. But I think thoughts of what they were planning to do with that vial kind of get pushed to the side in favor of looking at this tech. And so I would like to spend a token to do a strong move, which we're trying to figure out which one of these makes the most sense narratively. I think I feel like this one probably fits more with Crow's just weird antisocial ass, honestly. So I think Crow is gonna I think Crow is gonna break something in the exact way that they mean to. Just having this zero tact at all, just being like, oh wow, what is that? And is just kind of reach up and grab the mouth harness to try to get at the precise component that makes it work. And they're like, well,
No,
that you know what that'd be perfect for, and they're just
you go up and you like touch it, and then it shuts down, and these Athorian's eyes just go from like bright and like kind of soft to like,
yeah,
and
it's very much
you
a the intrusive thoughts one kind of moment for Crow, where it was like, oh yeah, that would be so cool to find out what it is, but you've already reached out and grabbed it. Like that time I accidentally grabbed some of the tea from the container in Tivana because
oh
they opened it, and I thought, I'll take one.
okay. Under scum and villainy, I am going. I'm going to. We're gonna have fun. And I am going to. Wow. I'm gonna complicate someone's worldview
Ooh.
and give Crow another token. As in the blink of an eye, half the bar has its blasters, lasers, vibroblades, everything pointed at the entire group.
Oh my god.
What do you do? Half the bar. The other half of the bar is like afraid, or like the entertainment, they put their hands up. But even like one of the go-go dancers has like a blaster on you.
I am going to encourage Aisha. Oh, I'm gonna give Aisha a token by
Okay.
using a lateral move. How could I best encourage you or give you hope right now?
I think if you point out a look or a vulnerability in someone to diffuse the situation, Aisha can definitely press on it.
I have a relationship on my sheet that I
Yes, would you
never
like to bring
fleshed
it
out.
in? Yeah, would you like to bring it in?
Yes. I would like to bring in a backstory moment that myself and Aisha have been here before because we like to party.
Ooh. Yes.
Yes.
All right, I'm on it. I'm on it.
And I once befriended an anxious droid.
Okay. What happened?
I
What would you like
believe
to name the droid?
I want to name the droid Lexi.
Lexi. Okay.
Lexi.
All right.
Because the
So you
droid
believe
needs
Lexi
lexapro.
works here?
I believe that Lexi works here. I
Okay.
believe that Lexi works as the droid who makes sure that all of the laser tables do the zap zaps.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I believe that Lexi is the anxious house mom droid of this establishment.
Okay. I think Lexi bursts like from the side door that's like behind the bar, because you know how these clubs work. You've got the big bar
Yeah.
and then you've got the side door, and Lexi is just like, oh my goodness, master, no, 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 we cannot have another shootout. We didn't with so many galactic credits last time. And then she like comes up and she's like, what is going on? They are regulars. Young person, remove your hand from my employer's communication device. And everyone just sort of like awkwardly like starts lowering their blasters. as this protocol droid that is in a somewhat feminine form. So it's kind of like a cross between like Joan Rivers in Spaceballs, but with the actual proper, like, not the fake hair that's ridiculous, but with the like the droid head, and then like there's like an implication of like breasts, but it's more like a cultural thing for the purpose of like, oh, symbolizing like motherhood. It was like an aesthetic choice. And occasionally they'll go and like there'll be like shots underneath as a gag, and then she'll like make a joke about it, and she's like, who wants titty shots? Like it's like a thing, it's like the first joke she learned. And it
That's
always
amazing.
but most of the time she's very serious, so she just comes out and she's like kind of lays down not the law, but just like sort of like mom anxieties everybody into just sort of like de-escalating. And Crow, would you like to just flick the switch back on now that you know how it works? Just to de-escalate?
think because of this and kind of realizing that, oh, that was supposed to be an internal thought. Um, as much as a funky little gremlin, I feel like Crow is, they do still understand the concept of like consequences and shame. So I would actually like to so I would like to give a token sort. I don't actually know if I can
Yeah.
do this, but I would like to try to give a token because I would like to it's not quite, well, it is sort of fixing it. I want to add a functionality to something I fixed. So because
Yes.
I kind of
That's
messed
cool.
this up,
Yeah.
Pro
Yeah,
just kind of immediately just
yeah.
goes, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I'll be honest with you. I have not slept in how long have we been on the it doesn't I haven't slept in a couple of days. I am so sorry. Here, let me just quickly like whips out some tools and it's just like, let me just this up for you. This wire was about to die anyway. Here's a fresh one. So sorry, so sorry. Everyone looks great. Wow.
And
Yeah.
then it turns back on, and like there's a little bit of a jump as like the energy efficiency is like so what cool thing did you do before I add
Yeah.
on to
I
it?
think
Like,
I think the cool thing that I think the cool thing that Crow did maybe is like um gosh, I feel like probably the cool thing that Crow did is like maybe they can get like um gambling signals from somewhere else, from like another like kind of close-ish
oh,
planet, so they can pick that up and like it can like send signals out now so that they can gamble without leaving the planet.
Very cool.
it's just sort of like, oh, and then like a little like like a little like light pops out of the screen, and then there's like you see all these symbols that it's just like pretty much like betting. It's like hut space betting pools, and he's like, oh, well, that's really useful. Thank you. And he like taps the side and the information goes back in. Okay, okay, everyone calm down, calm down. It was a misunderstanding from a young genius. Everyone get back to things. And Lexi is like, well, you heard him. Everybody get back to the party. And everyone just sort of starts going almost immediately goes back to minding their damn business. Um, as he turns all his attention onto the group. Why don't we go over into VIP so there's no more misunderstanding?
Sounds perfect.
And there's a jump edit to where you're in like a nice swanky office. You've got a beautiful view of the desert. He's got like glass windows. It's all very nice. There's a really sturdy desk with some nice cloth draped over it, and plenty of seating. It seems like this as well, not too nice. This is definitely a place where people like sit, hang out, drink water, and do business. So I take it. Do you have the information?
I'm assuming Estelle was given like a code to
Yep.
say.
You were given like a little like a particular chip separate from uh the holocron that you have to
Yep.
give to this person that you got from General Leia. She says that like it's unmarked galactic credits. Um that will be deposited directly into Fazian's account. Half up front and half when you all come back alive.
Heck yeah, she'll give that.
He takes it and he's just all like, there's only half here.
Half up front, and the other half when we return back alive.
Hmm.
Feel like you can take it up with General Leia herself.
Yes, well, it is general now, after all. Let's get you to your vehicle. And with that, I would like us to take a break, drink some water, use the restroom, because we're on Jakku. For the second half of our story, we're going to find out about the legacy of Ren. We'll be back soon. Hello, everyone. We have returned for the second half of the Legacy of Ren. Our band of resistance fighters are now in the desert planet of Jakku. I would like to set you all up. You've met this shady Athorian. You've gotten this giant, like, cool vehicle, like hovercraft, like a desert hovercraft. With there's no weapons, but it's pretty quiet. It moves pretty fast, and you're heading off into the desert. So, to my rebels, I'm going to offer this. Javier,
Yes.
I am going to give you a token.
Okay.
And I am going to complicate your vision of freedom. When you all arrive at this village in Jakku, where you're supposed to meet this forest priest of the Church of the Forest, how are you disarmed? What positive, heartwarming vision of community are you greeted by that shakes all of this doubt that you've had to your core? Describe that for me. What does that look like for Javier? Because that is what Javier encounters when you get there.
This is like a typical normal village, right?
This is a large desert village in the style of kind of like a settled desert encampment. Like there are permanent structures, but there are also tents. There
Okay.
is a well. There is community here.
Okay, gotcha.
And a
I
temple.
think
A really nice temple.
I think the thing that shakes Javier is seeing the kids play. He sees an actual group of kids playing. Some adults are off to the side, just talking, having fun. These kids aren't being made to do anything. They're not being trained to do anything. They're just being kids. And I don't think Javier has ever really seen that. And
A little boy runs up to you, pulls out like what looks like a little makeshift uh figurine made of like twine and like desert tumbleweed and wire, and there's like little stones, like maybe like little desert rocks, or like you can see is inside the kind of cage like structure of the wire and the twine, and just looks up at you and offers it to you.
Javier bends down on a knee, looks at the kid. Thank you. What's your name?
Oh, my name's Trent.
Hey, Trent. What's this little guy's name?
Oh, that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's Luke Skywalker. Legendary hero of the Republic. When I was little, my dad told me stories. And this kid looks to be maybe about like 8, maybe 10. Like maybe he's a
Mhm.
small 10-year-old because he's got a very like bright disposition. It's like my dad, he would tell me stories when I was little.
Sharon.
There was a big battle here. Battle of Jakku. the Empire fell.
Yeah. He did great things.
Mm-hmm.
You want to be like him?
No,
No?
I want to be like Han Solo and be a pilot.
Uh-huh.
Welcome to the village. If you're hungry, the food line is over by the Church of the Force down the street. You folks enjoy the community and make sure you fill your water cup at the spring. That's what my mom always says when visitors join the village. Bye! And then he like runs off to go catch up with the kids. Like he doesn't have anything else to say. He's just sort of like awkward and
Yeah.
runs off the way kids do.
I think Javier kind of stays kneeled for a second. Looks at this little figurine of Luke Skywalker.
It's at this point you notice that like there's like a stick in its hand, like a little lightsaber.
And okay. Let's make the world a better place. And gets up and like we can I don't know if everyone's kept walking or just stayed there, but like just
Yeah, what did
is
everyone else do during this like moment? Were you all standing there kind of observing? Did you guys go off to do other things like at the same time, maybe re-meet up at the Church of the Force? Like what do you how is everyone else in the circle reacting to this tender moment that Javier is having with this child?
I gotta have Estelle there just to have the moment of rolling her eyes at Luke Skywalker. Like, he's okay.
I mean,
How about you, Puja? How is your
I was trying to think that Aisha probably is watching, but I think
like Aisha knows who Han Solo is. Like
Aisha, yes,
Han Solo's a legend. Like
Han Solo's a legend. I think Aisha's impression, just as someone who's like not in the Force realm of Luke Skywalker, is kind of like, eh. But I think Aisha was like, okay, interesting. But as soon as the kid says like, I'd rather be Han Solo, Aisha probably like fist bumped the kid.
yeah.
Walked away.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. That.
Yeah, and he just and he's got the look. He's
Yeah.
got the glimmer in the eye. This is a kid that likes to pick pockets, but if he gets caught, he'll give it back. He's that kind of kid.
Yeah, that
Like-
was that. Yeah, basically, this kid is baby Aisha.
Yeah. But yeah, Trent will stop, fist bump, and head off with his friends.
Nice.
Alan, how are they reacting to this
I
moment?
think one, Alan's heart softens for a moment, seeing Javier have this very sweet moment with a child. And then upon hearing Luke Skywalker is just like, oh. And then hearing Han Solo is just like, yes, pilots.
Heck yeah.
And as soon as the kid is gone out of earshot, Alan just leans over to Aisha and is just like, I always just like Lando better, but I think it's because I used to work at a cantina and I heard
Oh.
stories about Lando.
Lando just seems like was a lot more fun. I heard he was a grade A flirt. It's like,
Yeah.
sounds like a good time, honestly.
Right? Like, and that's what made me stop being a dancer and decide to be a pilot. It's just I heard people talk about like this Lando guy, and I'm just like, oh, so being a pilot's fun. All right, I'm gonna just go be a pilot now.
Yeah.
Above table question because it's a one shot, and I wanna take a big swing. Basil, what's your relationship to Lando Calrissian? How do you know that old man?
That's an excellent question.
Are they? And that is, and you know them. That is the question. The question is not, do you know them? The question is how you know them. How do you, Crow, personally know Lando Calrissian?
Yeah, I think for Crow, for a short while, I think that they worked with Lando, helping to just sort of fix up some things. And probably also just Crow's nature. Just kind of also just picked up a few things for their pockets. Like, oh, hey, that's some cool tech. What's in this crate? Well, it's mine now. Oh, that I needed that. Oh no, I needed that too. Like Crow's very much the person who walks through the technological like area and is like, oh, need that too. Oh, I've been looking for
Mhm.
this, and it's just taking chunks out the wall. So that is probably why they got fired. After a certain point, Lando was just like, "You do good work. You're very smart. I see you're capable, but you were causing me some problems. So
I
here's it's like here's like a space bus ticket, but you gotta go."
yeah.
Mhm.
Here, let me send you to Leia.
Yeah.
She'll find you some work. And maybe that's how you met everybody. Like, let's we're just gonna transfer you. It's just
It's a growth
uh
opportunity, like they
uh,
tell people at work.
yeah, exactly. And all of this, like, as they're kind of bantering back and forth about Lando, like, you just sort of, you don't have to say anything. You just, that just comes to your mind, and whatever you say out loud is whatever Crow says out loud. But you have some, it conjures back those memories while they're talking back and forth about how much they prefer Lando in the stories that they've heard. Um, you arrive at the temple down the street. I'm assuming we'll jump cut to that. And you go inside, and in the center of the room is an older gentleman, short, white, gray hair, short, cropped, white beard, similar to mine that I have. Tall, maybe about 6'1", 6'2", uh, wearing brown robes, uh, brown trousers, layered, for desert life. So it's just like, because it's cold out. He's got like another overcoat over that. They're not Jedi robes. They're just sort of like traveler's robes. And inside of this uh, sandstone temple, reinforced with like tent structures around it, um, is this really beautiful shrine to the Force and the ways of the Force. Um, Puja, gonna invoke the Forces in between. I'm going to give you a token. How does this place invoke awe to everyone in the group? I've given you a framework for like what's there. I've given you the facts. Paint us a picture.
I think the most interesting thing about this temple is that it evokes a sense of bigger things than us, which is not surprisingly not something that those of us who spend all of our time drifting through space feel very much anymore. We've been in spaceships for a long time. We've been traveling across galaxies for a very long time. Like being a small like ant in this giant space is very normal, and so I think we've gotten a little bit used to that. So I think this space evokes those feelings again, but not in a grandiose way. Like I guess the way to describe it is when you go into a space and because of the way it's designed, because of the way it echoes, like even though you may not be religious or spiritual, you can tell that the space has that resonance in there.
Mhm.
And I think that's what like this is the design evokes this like resonant
Yeah.
hum that I think, even though, at least for Aisha, not a religious, not a believer in any sort of way, but definitely evokes respect for those who are more likely to be moved by something like this. So I think I think the way to like kind of describe it in short is there's a little bit of an awe. We're all a little bit awestruck uh, because this is not a feeling, a space we get to be in very often. And a little bit of wonder is nice for a bunch of jaded people.
And that is kind of, what unfolds in the story as this kind old man gets up from his meditations and prayers, uh, turns around and uh, smiles, and he says, "Hello, my name is Lore, Lore Santaka. It's a pleasure to meet you all. Please have a seat." And he motions to like some pillows on top of like carpets and like low stools and things. And he comes over and he sits sort of in the side area. Everything's kind of lit by like a combination of candles and lanterns, but they're like electric lanterns, like solar power celled lanterns and such. So it's sort of mix of the modern and the ancient in this space, and maintaining that feeling that Puja described of like, oh, I might not believe, but I feel at ease here. This feels like a kind of place that it's appropriate to take a deep breath and think and pause. Um, and he says, "I understand that you are here on urgent business. Um, uh, y- uh, General Leia managed to get an encrypted message to me via some other intermediaries, informed me of your arrival. Um, I take it that you have the coordinates piece of the map."
Is there a code that also has to go through to ensure that
Nope.
this
Mm-mm.
person? Okay.
Whatever it is, you
Mhm.
both say it. There is a code.
Okay.
I will say that there is a code, but then you both exchange the code, and there's a relief there, right? Like the verification you need is above table, not a traitor. That is a move by the mandate, but that is not one that I am taking right now.
Sounds good.
And he accepts the and like when he accepts it from you, I will be making a move uh as the space between. And I'm going to reveal a new truth to someone, and I'm giving you a token, my Jedi friend. Y'all, I'm giving you tokens for terrible things to happen. Do big things. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm giving you a
Go!
token, and like as you do it, you get this intense vision of fire and darkness, and you see hotshot pilot Poe Dameron on the ground, bleeding, lightsaber scorched. Gareth Wren and Kylo Ren standing over his dead body. The massive explosions, uh, death, and you just see the symbol of the First Order, and you get this overwhelming sense that if you stay here in this place of peace, the first peace you have all felt in weeks, the dark side will triumph. And then immediately the vision like goes away as he takes the coordinates. Now, let's see about getting you some food, a place to
We
sleep.
can't
Hey,
stay.
what?
We can't stay. We can't stay.
What?
I'm sorry.
Why can't you stay? You've been on the run. You've made it through across the galaxy. We can't offer you hospitality. You put your lives in danger.
It's a kindness that would be appreciated, but with His left shadow is the one hunting us. We cannot stay.
All right, then. Then let it at least help you get provisions for the trip back. And immediately, things start to move. The people of this village start bringing you fresh food, water, provisions, extra power cells, whatever you need to get back to the spaceport as quickly as possible, they give to you. Does anyone in the group want to make any moves? How do you respond to this?
I'd like to actually. I'd like to spend a token to um. So I'm trying to decide which one of these I wanted to do first, but uh, yes, actually, let's do that. I want to spend a token to discern a secret or hidden function of a machine. So while everyone
Ooh.
is packing up and putting supplies on the hovercraft, Crow would like to just kind of start poking around because, considering where we came from and the kind of clandestine nature, even though it's supposed to be a normal hovercraft, there's always like a secret compartment either that has a gun or that Crow could
Oh.
like load something in to make it a gun. Like maybe it has like a repository for some form of energy, but it's empty because they're cheap. So
Yeah, you know what? That's exactly what you find. You find an entire empty compartment where you could put one of these backup cells in that would supercharge uh this hovercraft and potentially add like an additional like X number times like 50. Like you could probably like double the speed that you came across the desert quietly with one of the solar regenerated power cells that they just gave you in this hidden compartment.
yeah, so I think that's what Crow is gonna do is they like sort of look at the supplies and sees one of the power cells is gonna be like, oh cool, yoink, and just like no thank you, no nothing, just yep, and it's just
Yep.
gonna start leaning over and just
All right, awesome. Puja, what is your character doing?
Yes. Thinking, I think it's time for a strong move.
Mhm.
And I would like to maybe go a little bit non-literally for this one. So one of the
Sure.
things I can do spending a token is pull off an absurd stunt to take advantage of an unexpected opportunity.
Yeah.
Um, they are providing us with some sort of supply. So I was just wondering if there's a way, given that I am for lack of a better term, a bastard,
Yeah.
to also take more than what was offered if it means protecting us, given that, like, you said that we all felt that if we didn't get out of here, something bad would happen, right?
Yes.
Okay, so
Okay.
then Aisha is in like, okay, we need to do what we
This
need
is
to
what
do to
I'm gonna
protect
do.
this.
We're
Yeah.
gonna do some vibes. We're gonna do
Yeah.
some vibes. So this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna give you something from this strong move. The strong move is gonna give you a thermal detonator.
Ooh.
This thermal detonator is gonna function as a temporary move.
Okay.
It's a temporary strong move that you have. You use it once,
Yep.
and it will get everyone safely out of the scene as a distraction
Okay.
against a threat.
Okay.
You got that?
I
Was that
got
too
it. I'm
much?
ready.
You got it?
Ready
Okay,
to.
cool.
Yeah. No. We good.
Cool.
We're
We're
good.
we're, we're playing with the rules. So I'm going to gift you that in response to your strong move. A
Okay.
temporary strong move, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And once you use it, you lost it. But it's all good. It's an escape move, we'll say.
Hell yeah.
Who is next? Javier. What are you doing as you guys are Estelle is trying to lead you all to your escape? Because if you don't leave, these kids are in danger.
I got the kids in danger. Wow.
What? I'm just asking. I'm
Wow.
sorry. I shouldn't do that. I'm. It's my job as facilitator to ask questions. Are you aware that if you don't leave, the children will be in danger? How does your character respond to that? Or
Uh,
Trent will be in danger. Let's be more specific.
okay.
Your
Yeah, the
new
one with the
friend,
name is in danger.
yeah, your new friend Trent is in danger.
The named PC will be in danger.
They have the side
Um,
ponytail that the moms have, so you know if you
oh
don't leave,
no,
they
not
could
the,
die.
Yeah.
not the side ponytail.
They'll get their tragic backstory and become
Yep.
a PC instead of an NPC.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm. Okay. Okay.
Right. All
I
right.
think I don't really necessarily have a move for this.
Oh, you could just tell me what you want to do. You don't have to use a move.
I think Javier is just like, oh, we're leaving? Okay, no problem. Just like, okay, what, we getting stuff? I mean, do we have time for that? Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Do we have time? And gosh, last but not least, because we know Estelle is like, we need to get out of here. So Alan, my ace, what's
Yeah.
going on? Like, how are we facilitating leaving? Are we facilitating leaving? Um,
I'm going to use a strong move, and I'm going to maneuver an unfamiliar vehicle without trouble.
Ooh,
Because
okay.
Alan can drive a hovercraft. Alan is not familiar with whatever modifications Crow has made to this hovercraft, and it's now
Right.
kind of unfamiliar, and we're kind of in a rush.
So what I am going to say is, boom, you guys get back to the spaceport fast. Get back to the ship before sunrise. The sun is just starting to crest over the horizon as you blast off into space. I have two questions. One, Alan,
Mm-hmm.
when you jump to hyperdrive,
Mm-hmm.
where are you going? To the
Ooh, where am I
core, or are you staying in the outer rim?
I
And this
feel
is
like
before you press the button. I want to know where your character's intention is. I'm building something.
I'm going to use a lateral move,
Hmm.
and Alan considers Estelle to be the right person to ask in this situation.
Excellent.
And I'm going to give Estelle a token,
Hmm.
and Alan is going to once again bring Estelle into the cockpit with the forewarning: you are not in trouble. Promise.
Okay.
I am just space magic stupid.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good at this, motioning to the pilot stuff in the cockpit. You are the space magic smart person, and you seem to have a lot of space magic feelings about what's been going on lately. And I feel
Mm-hmm.
like you're the best person to ask where I should take us at this point. You have something that you say is chasing you. Would you rather keep running, or would you rather try to face it on your own terms? What is the smart move here? Because I am out of my depth here. You have
I
all of us with you.
I am going to also, as facilitator,
Mhm.
as the Empire, as the First Order, I'm going to give you a token, Estelle.
All these
Foreshadow,
tokens.
Foreshadow a larger threat.
No matter where I go, I think he'll find me. Unfortunately, there is too much of a tether that I could never really be free from him. I don't think we can destroy him, though. But if we play our cards right, I think we can convince him that we should be left be. But if we don't, then I don't think we'll make it out of this.
Question. Do
Hmm.
you put your faith in the Force and just randomly pick a direction?
I actually want to use a strong move
Just do
because
it. Yes.
I have so many tokens.
Do it.
I'm going to use this in a little bit of a roundabout way.
Yeah, sure.
And I want to use learn the secrets or purpose of something not understood. I think she wants to try to reach back into her memories of Gareth Wren and what is something that genuinely terrifies him and or something that we can use to make this a surprise to get the jump on him instead of him getting the jump on us.
You make that strong move and you reach out and you get a very intense vision of the space whales like flying like through space, strange like ley lines and symbols, vast galaxies, pathways. You get a vision of the two of you confronting each other and spaces in between, and that feeling of being bathed in the Force as you get the sense, as you receive this powerful revelation that you might, if you can lure him into that strange wellspring of force that you found, that energy of the space whales, it might not only even out the playing field, you might be able to pull that trick off again, but further out. And take him with you.
And I think with that in mind, she's going to utter a name of a location, just a very quiet muttering of it to give a direction to Alan.
Alan, you know that that is in the middle of the Smuggler's Run. It's in one of those dark spots where you're not going to hear anything. If you follow this, you can get them there. You don't even have to do a move. No strong move. You'll get there. But I want to give you, the player, and Alan, the character, an opportunity to understand that move or no move, this is dangerous. Do you trust them?
Absolutely.
Okay. What do you do?
They speak weird space magic. Absolutely. I just fly this thing.
All right.
Uh,
There's some time. You're there. You're in the darkness, the middle of space in the Smuggler's Run. And eventually, Imperial ship appears. Gareth Brent's ship. The, what would we call it? The left knife, or the left shard, they call it. Sharp, angular, black, retro, imperial style. And the ship is hailed. What do you do?
I have a question for you
Mm-hmm.
because I don't know Star Wars as well. Is the Left Shard a solo ship, or like a solo, like small ship? Where
Yes.
he would be the one piloting it?
Yeah.
Um,
However, he would not have a Star Destroyer far behind him. But you know that because of like the Smuggler's Run, you can't fit a Star Destroyer in this part of space. There's too many like asteroids, rogue moons, nebulas. Like the dead pockets are dangerous because you can't get help, but not because giant Republic ships and Imperial old Imperial Star Destroyers or First Order Star Destroyers can find you. That's why it's a Smuggler's Run. So there might be another ship with a band of scrappers like you hidden somewhere, but if there's a Star Destroyer, it's at least like it's not coming in here. Not in this part, not in this dead zone. There's not enough like safe space to occupy. If you catch my drift.
Yep. I think Alan, once getting the hailing message, is just going to yell back to everyone, I don't think I can send him to voicemail. What are we doing? We've got company. Like, we in fact have company. He is right there.
Space, the one place I can't run from my problems.
Time to face them.
I think at that point, Ahisha will be like, anybody know if this might be useful? And bring out the thermal detonator. Like, I know, like, we have to get it to where it needs to go.
Yeah.
But,
You pull out the
I don't
thermal
know.
detonator.
Yeah, and then also turn to Crow and, like, I don't know, does our ship have, like, remote, like, pieces that could be broken off or piloted alone or something? Like, is there, like, a reckless delivery mechanism that
You mean a
can be
drone? You absolutely have a drone. You have a little
Okay.
space drone. That's all their whole purpose is to like sneakily like deliver things and
Yeah.
whatnot.
Well,
You've done this before. Yeah, you
we
got a little
space drone.
a drone pod thing. You know, it's not smart. It's just, you know, you could program it with like one command and send it out.
Well, you know, if we can't figure out another way,
Is that what you're
there's
okay?
always
So,
this option.
You're over
So,
there, like, yeah.
Ahisha's not doing it. She is
Okay.
presenting it to the group as an option because Ahisha does know that perhaps blowing everything up is not the opening salvo.
Right. Right. Y'all are in deep space. Like,
Yeah, maybe let's call it the nuclear option.
Right, the backup.
Yeah.
The thing's still going.
Okay.
And
I
it's like a
propose an idea that could also blend in exploding stuff. We lure him to an area where he is off his ship. I don't mind playing bait to that because I know I can get his attention while his attention is on me, and I at least have someone with backup, someone to back me up in case things go south. But another person can attach the detonator to his ship to maybe potentially strand him and make it very difficult for his friends to come and get him, leading to maybe some loss of other ships, or damage, or anything else that could be a hindrance.
Okay. Well,
So, I am going to give a token to Crow. Crow, how is your character in this particular situation able to offer help and solidarity uh, with or without a cost? Like, how are you able to help in this moment solve this particular problem narratively above table? Like, be the GM for a second, as
Um,
people would say.
so
Make it up.
a
Have
thought,
fun.
a thought that I had is that because Fro siphoned off some of that particle energy into a separate vial, and because the vial energy responds to Estelle specifically, I was actually just about to suggest that Crow was in favor of Estelle's plan and goes with them as backup to try to later spend a token to jury rig something under distress and use the vial with Estelle's help. Like if they're holding it, they both maybe
Mhm.
smash it together and
How about this?
maybe it pulls them
Spend the
back to the
token.
ship or
Yes,
something.
spend the token now to create it, and then just
Okay.
let me know later when you want to use it, or if you want to use it in conjunction with an additional strong move. So
Okay.
let's do that. That way it's ready, and you already have the resource spended, because you never know like what's going on. So let's go ahead and spend that now, and you do that, and you have this vial, and then you realize with this vial that you can do that. You could make it work from anywhere. You don't have to be in the force well that you found. You could go to a nearby planet that has similar resonance or a nearby moon. In fact, uh, right as you finish it, uh, you remember that there's a moon nearby that has like atmosphere. That you could probably lead him to as you finish it up. What do you guys say? How do you all react to this information?
I'm trying to find like first picture everything so far in my head. So the plan so far,
Mhm.
Estelle, you go out there and talk to our friend. Crow, you want to go out there with Estelle. What are you two doing?
Plant the
Hang
bomb on his ship as he's
Oh,
distracted. What
Cool.
are we not getting?
Cool. So
Oh,
cool. So that's where you lost me.
Okay, okay.
gotcha. So
So
we're
would
looking to blow up the ship, distract him with like a confrontation.
hmm
Blow,
so question. Would
yeah.
Crow be doing the planting, or is
That
Crow being backup to Estelle?
I
we
think
have the
what
droid.
yeah, I think
So the
Crow's coming with me to provide an easy escape route.
okay.
If,
Mhm.
I think if we are going on sneaking onto the ship, I feel like given the strong moves that Aisha has, I think it might make sense for it to be her and not a
Mhm.
droid. Because half
Yes,
of
do
Aisha's
it.
strong moods are
You know
get into
what?
bad
You know
situations,
what?
start fights,
Spend
win fights.
spend some tokens, and yes,
Alright.
your ship will have a little side thing. Use the
Alright,
token
alright.
to create it. I'm down.
Okay.
I'm down. I'm down.
Alright. Well, you know what? This sounds like a good time to use the literal meaning of pull off an absurd stunt to take advantage of an unexpected opportunity. I would like that to spend a token when Estelle is having that confrontation to use that opportunity to do an absurd stunt, which will
Yes.
be figuring out a way to plant this
All
bomb.
right. So you've lied in the plan.
Mhm.
It's gone. The noise has stopped. Instead,
Oh,
you've gotten
uh,
coordinates.
I was
Yeah.
gonna suggest for
Mhm.
maximum shenanigans,
Yes.
what if we don't go into a little side thing to do the drop off? What if we do some ridiculous outside ship position our
Yes.
ship over the other ship space jump situation? And so that Ahaisha and Alan, like Alan can do some ace piloting to pull off some shenanigans with Ahaisha.
Oh, okay, so instead of going to the surface of a planet, just going
Oh, well, so I
to the
was just thinking
moon.
instead of like me doing the piloting, it being like a
Yeah.
part of the plan for our whole ship to do the shenanigans, just so that it's not like Ahaisha
Ah,
by herself
right,
doing the
right, right,
stuff,
right,
and that way the
right.
three of us who are not a part of the confrontation can
Yes,
work
exactly.
together to do the
So
planting.
this is how the screen wipe goes. 3 of you are on the ship pulling off shenanigans on Gareth Wren's vessel.
Yeah, that's what I do.
The other 2 of you are on the surface of a nearby moon that has atmosphere, gray clouds in the sky, a blasted, like, barren, rocky shore next to a crashing ocean. It's cool. There's all these like columns of rock outcropping with like old symbols and things. You can see uh, some of the. We had seen the scrolls with the space whales on them,
Mhm.
and you can see some of those in the carvings, kind of worn away with age. And you're standing there, Estelle, um, your robes billowing in the breeze, uh, and you see him about 20 or so feet away, decked head to toe in polished black Sith alchemical armor. A long, fur lined cloak. The fur most likely stained black Lothal cat or Lothal wolf fur. Um, which you know that he probably hunted himself. He has his helmet on, which is a flat cylindrical mask similar to a welder's mask with red lines across it that he's able to breathe from that radiates with a red inner light, all lined in silver. And he has in his hand uh, what looks to be like a long staff that has like a cross, T-cross at the end, metal, that look like 2 lightsabers, like T-crossed, soldered all together into one weapon. And he has it, he's like standing on it. And he's looking at you and looking at Crow. Um, Cloak billowing in the wind. It lifts up, and you see his incredibly handsome, rugged, ginger-bearded face. Intense, deep, deep, dark green eyes. It didn't have to be this way.
And yet you made it this way.
You know what happened.
Didn't mean that you had to go down this path.
Master Luke tried to kill my brother. And you still make excuses for him.
Oh, don't get it twisted. I make no excuse for him. But I said, there are always other paths of going down.
And that is why I chose Snoke. Snoke offered us a chance to start our own journey, to seize power ourselves, and not have to deal with careless bureaucrats who just want to go back to an old failed religion. The Skywalkers failed us. The only one we can trust is Master Ren. And that is why I have taken his name. You can have a place with us. You're unique, just like us. You wanted to fight with a whip. I wanted to fight with a spear.
And I think that's where the thought that you had of me dies. Because I am unique, that much is true, but not like you, my old friend. For you were seduced by the darkness. I was comforted by it, as I was taught by the light itself. So, if you excuse me, and she'll unsheath her whip, and it starts to pulsate a beautiful purple, because I gotta be purple. Let me tell you and show you the meaning of finding balance without bending to weak cowards.
He slams what looks like the staff with the cross at the end of it down on the ground, and you see lightsaber blades shoot out from the side, shoot up, and he spins it in the air, and it looks almost like a flat red blade, and then he stops it, and you can see that it's a lightsaber halberd, and he has a good 20 feet of reach.
Now, I am not a battle girly, so I won't really be doing a lot of narration for this.
Yeah, sure,
But
all good.
I know technically I don't have spending tokens for using fighting stuff, but I will be happy to use tokens to try to land blows.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We're gonna pause there as we jump cut to give you some time, Estelle, to think about your next move. And we're gonna go up into space where you're kind of almost piloting it. So what's happening, our scoundrel friend? How are you pulling off this? Now it's wild stunt time. What is the wild stunt?
Any thoughts, Diamond? For what cool piloting stuff we can incorporate?
Are you wanting to get in his ship or on his ship?
I think we can do on. I think
Yeah.
a
You wanna do
detonator
on?
is strong. I don't think we need to go in there.
No,
I
I
think we can
definitely
do
got. Yeah,
a
I got what
drive-by.
you described. So you fly by, you could get it planted on. That's your. I'm gonna give that as your framework for the move that you did. Right. The wild stunt is flying up unseen, quietly, getting on the ship and putting it on there. However, I would like to give space for people to do additional strong moves or weak moves, or lateral moves to add on to this. So, how is this going down? What goes right or what goes wrong after you get the detonator planted on there? We'll say that. That way, there's no canceling out your move. You pull it off. What do we got?
See.
Javier or
I have a question.
Alan? Yes.
Do we know necessarily that this ship is empty?
No, you do not. You're
Mm,
assuming.
okay. As someone previously from the Order, do I know that he travels with a crew?
It would be unusual if he didn't have at least 2 or 3 officers with him.
Excellent. Cool. Okay, two. You do your shenanigans, but while you're doing that, there might be some people trying to stop you. I'm going to distract them.
Yeah.
All right,
Um,
what do you do?
May I offer Javier a token with a lateral move? This is, you're basically going to do this anyway, but I want to also
Yeah.
encourage you, because this is what Ahisha would be doing when you're like, I'm a distractor, but Ahisha's going to be like, hell yeah, and like encourage you. And so the question is just, what would you do in this situation? But a token for your description, good
Yes.
friend.
What would you do in this situation? Do it.
I am a traitor to the Order. They want to get rid of a stain on their reputation. I'm gonna go in there, run around, destroy some stuff, and just cause havoc while they try to get rid of me. Specifically.
Okay.
Wait, you're going into the ship?
Yeah, I'm going to. That way they can't really deal with you two at the time.
Okay. In which case, Ahisha, I was kind of picturing this as like a combo of like Star Wars and like Mission Impossible, like we're just like plopping down. But I think Ahisha and maybe Alan, we stay put
Mhm.
so that if Javier calls for help, we're not like however far away in our spaceship, because we're obviously not leaving without Javier.
All right.
So
I'm going to make a move by the mandate. Javier, take or the first order. I'm going to give you a token. Describe to me how you are in immediate danger as you enter the ship with your blaster drawn. What threat do you encounter as soon as you get on the ship?
I'm face to face with my previous commanding officer who wants me dead.
just that. Super
Yeah.
small, super subtle.
You like open, they're right
That-
there, and they were like, "Oh, well. If it isn't
God.
what was your name again? Cadet Javier. Oh no, you were the janitor."
Yeah.
And you know that you weren't a janitor. You know that you were like a weapons manufacturer. Oh yes, you were the janitor, cleaning up all of our guns. And at this point, like a second like first order like officer that's there, or no, a stormtrooper that's there, like points like their blaster at you, uh, as he goes to tackle you. How do you respond?
So I have a strong move, which is triumph over someone or something which once oppressed you.
Oh, okay. Give me a cool montage about how this scene goes down, and then Alan and Aisha, feel free to, if you want to chain moves off of what Javier describes, you're more than welcome to. Okay, and then when we do that, we're gonna jump back to the planet. So, how does Javier overcome this challenge, like Andor style? Tell us what's going on.
So Javier's very much like, yeah, I used to clean your guns. I used to manufacture them. Your janitor, so to speak. It looks like you're the janitor now, trying to clean up the stain. And then, like, as they're like trying to tackle me, I like kind of like grab their arm, flip them on the ground, pull them up in the way of their of the blaster fire,
Yes.
and then
Yeah, he gets shot, like boom, full hit by the stormtrooper, and then what?
I throw the body towards them, and then I run down a corridor, just start like closing doors, go to another room.
It's not
Start.
that big a ship. Like the next room is the piloting. It's a small ship. It's only for like a crew of 2 or 3 people.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
smaller
like
than y'all's.
I'm like just trying to start turning stuff off that is like necessary to actually move the ship.
Yeah.
And
Actually, I'm gonna do you one better.
mm,
You manage, after knocking out the officer and the stormtrooper, to take complete control of the ship.
oh sweet.
Because you have first order codes. And you know what codes to get through.
Yeah.
So you're able to get complete control of the ship and even send out a false signal to the first order. How do you want to branch off of that, Alan and Aisha? You see, like, all of a sudden, like, through the glass, him just going all, like, Jason Bourne, and, like, you know, taking out, the ship, and then you see him in the piloting thing, like, taking over, and you see him look through the glass and, like...
All right.
Uh,
That's
I hail you guys. I just hail you guys now.
I was gonna
Like
say,
calling
yeah,
you
yeah.
guys on.
When you come over the radio, Ahishik is like, "You coming to us, or are we going down there? What's the plan, boss?"
I mean, we're trying to destroy this thing, right?
Yeah, well, the plan
There's
is to
still-
get away as fast as possible. But I guess, like,
Cool.
are we waiting
That
for you to
also.
join our ship, or are
Cool.
we gonna meet on the surface?
I can go over there, no problem.
Wait.
Yeah.
There's still people on that ship.
There's 2 people. There's a stormtrooper and there's an Imperial officer.
There's 2. Both knocked out. One of them
Do me a
shot.
favor. Follow my directions word for word. I think I remember how those ships work.
Oh,
Okay.
he hijacking the whole ship.
I've done it once. I can probably do it again. I crashed it. but
It's
you know
at
this won't
this
be fun.
point that you realize, Javier,
Mm-hmm.
that they didn't see what's happening. You've already done that.
Oh,
Yeah.
But let them talk because they don't know. It's all good.
Yeah,
If
yeah,
you say
yeah.
anything, Javier, or are you just gonna
like-
let Alan be like, "Listen to me"?
I'll be like, yeah, sure, no problem. Yeah,
All right.
most definitely.
Here's what you got to do. And basically is walking Javier through the steps of putting the ship back in flight to hover,
Mhm. popping
popping open the back cargo door, and unleveling the ship to dump the other 2 people out of it
Oh,
onto the planet.
I'm okay with this. This is my former boss, so I'm okay with this.
oh, okay. Onto the planet. Brilliant.
Because it's not going out
Brilliant.
of atmosphere. It's just hovering it.
Yes. All
And it
right.
should
And
give enough time for distraction for our other team
uh,
during combat.
and
Yeah,
then
just drop them in mid conversation.
Wait.
That'll distract.
that'll distract. And it's at this point, like, you're both like, so there's this dramatic moment where you're both in standoff with one another, and all of a sudden, like, the ship just sort of just goes, his ship behind him just sort of starts floating up and tilting, like, and dumps out, like, you can see this, and he's looking annoyed because he's probably using his 4 senses to know what's happening behind him, and he looks really annoyed, and he's like, as the Imperial officer and the stormtrooper that are hogtied with, like, cable wire, like, just stumble down out and just get dumped out onto the planet. And he just like, I don't have time for any of that. And then the music swells and the 2 of you begin to clash. Are there any strong moves that you would like to make in this moment to turn the tide in your favor.
Yes. I kind of want to do 2 strong moves at the same time. So I'll
Absolutely,
use 2
let me know.
tokens.
Yep.
So I want to receive a vision of the past, and then I also want to reveal someone's hidden emotion, but in a way to reveal a tell. Because what I essentially want to do is Estelle remembers that there was a tell that Garen had. He's
Mhm.
always weaker on his left, while she was
Yes.
stronger on her left. She
Yeah.
wants to double check to see if that is still a thing.
As you are fighting intensely, the music kind of swelling, you spinning around your lightsaber around you, and him using his superior reach to sort of try and get in closer and stay back away. And for a while, it's spectacular because you're able to extend the whip longer, channeling your force energy through it, and you're just reaching out and testing the edges. And yes, in fact, at one point, you're able to wrap your lightsaber whip around his Sith alchemical boot, lift him up off the ground, and he just drops. And you can see there's a bit of a sizzle around his ankle, but you didn't remove his foot. And that guarantees to you that his left is still vulnerable. And it's at that time when he looks up at you from the ground, this look of like vulnerability briefly appears in his eyes, and then you have a flashback to the past. 2 of you in between studies, in a beautiful field. Him wearing loose, comfortable Jedi Padawan robes. You as well. But kind of layered down. It's springtime. It's beautiful. You're in a flower field next to the new Jedi Temple, and you're eating lunch. Turns to you. And this is different, right? It's not, you don't have braids. Your hair's natural and free. You're comfortable. You're sitting together in something that projects an intimacy of friendship that many Jedi were not allowed to have in the days before Luke brought back everyone's the traditions. And Gareth turns to you and he says, Ben had another breakdown. I don't really know how much longer this can go for. I think Master Skywalker is pushing him too much. I don't know. I just it's like what you always say, right? If you don't know where you came from, you build where you're going, right?
I think Ben just needs better stories. I feel like sometimes he gets too caught up on the tales of his family and not looking into what he can build on his own.
Yeah, like you and I, we weren't really anybody special before.
Oh,
Except
don't
for
say that.
we should make a promise.
Hmm.
I know, that no matter what happens with the Republic or any of all this stuff, because if there's anything we've been learning is stuff is cyclical, right? Like, even if things are better for us, Sith will eventually come back. 100 years, 200 years, 300 years. No. I feel like there's something that needs to be reconciled and we're not doing it, but Master Luke says that's like really advanced thinking and to just focus on myself, but
Well,
what's the point of having the Force if we're not going to ask bigger questions?
Well, I can kind of see it in this way. The forest is us, and the forest is everything around us. What better way to start learning the advance, if not by focusing on self? It is through self that we learn and grow, and how the force finds us. So, I think it's advanced, sure, but at its core, it's still self. So I think he has some understanding of that, but there's always a balance.
He smiles. And then there's a jump to the two of you, him with the wooden staff, and then you with a regular whip, like both like practicing in the forest in a beautiful clearing. Things slow for a moment as the two of you look at one another. The warmth and the kindness of your friendship coming through, and then all of a sudden, you're back in the present again. The two of you, you're not sparring. You are on the surface of this planet, and the eyes of everyone else in your group spinning around this lightsaber, this purple lightsaber rip like a ribbon through the wind, blocking all of his incoming strikes until finally there's a moment where you are both kind of clashed with one another. You've stiffened the whip for a moment into a long whisper thing blade. You're eye to eye, and he says to you, "Cannot stop the inevitable. Please join me. Join the legacy of Ren, and you will be a dame among us, a true knight, a true instrument of justice. It won't matter that you don't remember your past. You will have seized a real future." How do you respond? And that's to the whole table, because you're seeing the two of them interlocked in this moment. This is our Star Wars. You're a family. So, what do you all do in this moment?
I have a question for Ava.
Okay.
Mhm.
Does Estelle want him to be redeemed?
Yes. Oh, excuse me. Yes, what is that question? I'm encouraging the question.
Oh,
I'm
like,
encouraging the
does
question.
yeah,
Please,
like,
I also
does
want to know the answer to that question.
depending
Estelle
on the answer.
follows Estelle follows the philosophy of balance, and so because of that, she believes that everyone has a right to being redeemed. They have to actually put forth the effort. And she's
Mhm.
never made that a mystery. So she would love if her friend can come back, but that's on him.
Mhm.
And that doesn't matter how many times that she says it. He needs to be the one to put the best foot forward. And if he proves it, she'll be there with open arms. But until then, she's gonna kick his ass.
Hell yeah.
Valid.
Sec. Oh, other question I had is, can Estelle hear those of us on the ship?
Yeah,
Um,
probably,
no,
maybe.
no, not vocally, but there's no time here. Like, there's no time
Um.
limit. So if you
Well.
just want to narrate, I get off the ship, I jump off the ship, I run up, edit it however you like. We
Well.
have
What
full narrative control here.
Ahacia's gonna do is think really, really hard at Estelle and hope that's how the Force works. And what she's thinking very, very hard at you, Estelle, is kick him in the balls.
And then you just hear that clear, like while you're open and intense, you can hear echoing in the back. And it's like white noise, right? Because you know the difference between someone using the force to talk to you and someone just thinking really hard, because people do that all the time. It's a thing
It
that
could also just be the Ahacia voice in your head
it could be.
that's
It
telling
could
you to
be
do this.
that. And it just says, Say it again, but like in that force echo. I know you want to do it, Puja. Go
Kick him in the balls.
You will kick him in the balls.
You will kick him in the balls. Okay, to Crow, you're there. You're watching this. You have a front row seat. I feel like also like it's very important. What do you got?
Yeah, so while this has been happening, Crow, staying out of the way, has kind of squatted down and has actually just been sketching all of this to make some sort of notes for later about using lightsaber technology and hyper crystals. They've always been fascinated by that. So they're just like, oh, that's neat. Oh, maybe if we do that. Then, like, at this moment, finally realizing that, like, oh, wait, the noises have kind of died down. It's kind of still like squatting in like that, like, kind of Slav squat where you're really low to the ground. Just kind of turns a little and turns to Estelle and it's just like, Estelle Wren would be a really dorky name. I'm just saying. So maybe I don't it just kind of trails off into mumbles and just starts sketching. And then to Gareth is just kind of like, can you turn a little? I'm having some difficulty seeing what that thing is. If you could just completely like semi invested, but like most like 80% of their mind is just like, I really just kind of want that, but I feel like 20% of like if you go over there and try to touch that and remembering previously what happens when you touch things, you're gonna cause problems and possibly lose a hand. So it's like, no, I'm with you. Estelle, do this right. Don't be a Ren. If be dorky.
Javier, how about you?
Radios to Alan and my God, uh, Aisha, and just go like, "Hey, yo, it looks like it's getting a little bit hairy over there. Think it's about time we pull out."
Ah!
I'm gonna use 3 moves,
Whoa, here
which
we
is all of
go.
mine.
Heck yeah.
All
All the ones
right,
I have
so
left.
after these, we'll go over to we will finally hit up our Nova. But go for it, Ace. What do we got?
One of them is for I'm gonna set up something for the conclusion of their fight
Gotcha.
because I'm gonna use the exact wording of the strong move to get someone out of harm's way. Alan considers whatever is going on with Garth Wren being of the legacy of Wren a problem, and that is harm. We're kidnapping him.
Okay.
And
All
I'm going
right.
to do this by using a daring maneuver to gain an advantageous position. And then the final one I'm going to use is I'm going to maneuver an unfamiliar vehicle without trouble, which is going to be I'm going to help my lovely scoundrel plant the detonator.
Oh, okay. All right. So, uh, I'm taking these narrative threads, and now I'm looking over to my Nova, to my Jedi. We've got 3 fantastic moves from our Ace, and all these things will happen. But oh, yes, we also have another one from the Scoundrel.
I was saying hi to the Raiders.
Oh, hi,
Hi, Raiders.
Hi, Raiders. What's up? You're here
Sorry.
for the dramatic conclusion. So Estelle, my poor Jedi. You and your best friend, battle, confrontation. You've had flashbacks. It's intense. What final move? What final strong move do you want to leave with us to kind of tie all this together?
You don't get it. It was never about delaying the inevitable. It was about ensuring that when the inevitable comes, there's still a hope and light at the end. And I find it so sad that you loved my words and heard them so well that you seem to have forgotten that. So she's going to use a lateral move to give him a token and ask, why are you pursuing the goal that you have? Before she uses another token, this time a strong one, to use some force magic, she's going to kick him in the balls as a shout out. And then with the power of like the whip around the halberd, she's going to force push him and yank back. So she now has the halberd. You get this back once you're done thinking.
Okay. So, the answer to your question is sadly so simple. There is so much pain there. There was so much love and devotion for Ben and for you. And that love and that devotion you feel has been warped into hatred and fanaticism. What Gareth believes Luke did has broken him. And has left him vulnerable, and he truly believes that you and Kylo Ren are the only things in this galaxy worth loving, worth protecting, worth being with. And then you hit him in the groin. He flies up in the air. The lightsaber whip goes out. He's flying in the air. You're force pushing him. You put down. You say those words. This his emotion still resonating in your chest. You holding them. And then he gets knocked out. And everything goes silent as the rest of the group starts moving, tying people up. The ship, beep, like you can see, your mind fills in the beeping sound of the thermal detonator. The camera hovers on the thermal detonator, and it just, you imagine the sound of the beeping as it explodes silently. And you're all flying away with Gareth tied up, stripped of his armor, wearing just a simple rough spun linen tunic and trousers. He's all tied up underneath like a restrainment field that Crow was able to put together to keep him restrained even if he does wake up, and you're sort of watching over him longingly. Eventually the music comes back in again as you are all on the ship, having kidnapped Gareth Wren, the left hand of power. I would like to end on an interesting and super dramatic note. Unless my players have something else they would like to do before we end the story.
I just want to make a quick note that Estelle will definitely give the halberd to Crow. It's like, have fucking fun.
All right. Crow's looking at it. I would like
Be
to
careful
end
of this button here.
I would like to end this story, this amazing adventure that we have been on, with all of you, with the ship, Ace's ship. The name, what's the name again? One more time. The name,
The bioptic,
the Bioptic.
but Ace calls it
Bioptic.
BB.
BB. BB flies into that strange space where that force fount was. Into the force fount. And our audience, as the camera pans back, sees that same flash, golden light. And BB ricochets far off and to the outer reaches, and to a place where Estelle has heard legends of how to heal the shattered soul of one who was touched by the Force. And with that concludes the tale of the legacy of Ren. Thank you all so much for joining us tonight. I hope you liked my alternate universe fan fiction, Force Awakens, queer, all black and brown story. I had an amazing time. We Thank you so much for this opportunity. My name is Hector Reyes, aka Keichiokami. On the internet, Instagram, everywhere you see, we played Galactic 2E by Riley Rethal, an amazing belonging, outside belonging game set in the Star Wars universe for tonight's fundraisers of Black Girl Code. I'm going to popcorn it over to everyone else.
Shout out
Let's
real
make
quick.
it
We
quick.
reached 1,000. We reached 1,000.
Yeah.
Yes.
We reached 1,000.
Hey.
We reached 1,000, y'all. Yes.
We
All
love it.
right. We
We
love
love
it.
it.
We love it. I just want to say thank you to everybody that tuned in. Thank you to everybody that donated. Thank you to my players who went on this journey with me. Thank you to Riley for writing an amazing game. And thank you to George Lucas and every single person that has ever been creative in the Star Wars universe, Black, Brown, and everywhere in between, who have made this story great. Love to you, Landau Calrissian and Poe Dameron, and all of the amazing other characters of color who have inspired me to tell this story with these people. So I'm going to stop talking about me. I'm going to start with my amazing Jedi. Estelle, who forever in my mind will be the long lost apprentice of Luke Skywalker. Like, who's that Rey girl? So Estelle, please tell us who you are, where we can find you, and then popcorn it to another person.
Alrighty, well, my darlings and dears, it's your Madam Ava here. Thank you so much for being with me today. This is probably my one and only time I'll ever do something Star Wars related because I am that bitch and I love doing things out of spite. But usually you can find me anywhere at Madam Ava Couture. Typically on Twitter and on TikTok until those things disappear, I guess. Coming up this Wednesday, I will be back on on Girls in These World for our Anchor homebrew D&D campaign, Roll for Luck. That's every other Wednesday. And on Sundays, I typically will be found on Exquisite Corpse Presents for our Thirsty Sword lesbian campaign inspired by Arthurian legend called Lunaissance Student Ray. I play one of the nervous daughters of King Arthur. We're going through college because PTSD from last season. Oh, well. That's currently on break, but we should be back soon. But otherwise, find me on the internet. Say hi. Say hello. And thank you for having me. May the Force be with you. Oh, and popcorning it to Diamond.
Hiya, I'm Madness Diamond, but since we're friends now, you can call me Diamond. I'm a TTRPG actual play performer. I am a writer of a couple things in the works right now for TTRPG systems and indie games. I am also a cosplayer and a content creator, but I'm also an activist and a sex worker. But I work as the admin coordinator for a streaming channel called Dinner Game. I am also the community manager for World Tree Quest. On Mondays, you can find me on the Starfield, where I play Werewolf the Apocalypse. Our chronicle's name is The Guardians of Neptune's Cairn. It's very fun. We're all puppies. On Tuesdays, I play over on Dinner Game. I play Emerald Sanctums, which is our 20th edition World of Darkness multi-splat game where I play a hunter. I am the only human of the entire group. It's very squishy, very gay. Not a threat, just gay with a death wish. And then on Thursdays, I'm over on World Tree Quest, and I play Melusine Lucifestra, the Battlemaster Fighter Barbarian. Yeah, but that's my usual action play schedule. If you check out my Beacons link, beacons.aa/Madness Diamond, you can find out more about me, where to find me, my action play schedule, and follow me on my socials. I am Madness Diamond everywhere except for TikTok. I'm Madness Diamond 2.0 there. If you want to see the wonderful organization I work for, it's called Decrim 305. It is a sex worker-led nonprofit organization with the cause of trying to decriminalize sex work and also give community outreach. So I am also their administrative coordinator over there as well. But I'm going to popcorn over to Puja.
Everybody, I am Puja. You can find me on Twitter at Puja and Pujabaraki everywhere else. I didn't get there in time to get my name as my handle. And I do this a lot. I am all over the tabletop space. Most frequently, you can find me over on Total Party Kiss on Saturdays, where we are playing a long-term queer horror D&D campaign. All queer table, wonderful players, wonderful GM, wonderful story. I love it, and I love getting to actually build the culture my characters from as I play. It's great. You can also find me over on Mana Pot Studios playing in tons of different things there. And most recently, it was just announced that I am going to be in the new arc of Unprepared Casters this season, where we're playing City of Mist at Cloud Citadel. We're doing a steampunk / noir, but also with vibes of Percy Jackson. It's a lot of fun. I'm playing an urban cowgirl, and it's very, very fun. And there's other stuff in the works that I cannot announce, but just find me on Twitter or Instagram or whatever. Reach out. I love playing with people. And for over the next month, I'm going to be in a lot of different fundraising streams. So please, please, please continue to spread the love this weekend and all the weekends. I think a lot of people in the space are doing a lot of good to raise funds for very important causes. So please, if you can, give generously, and if you cannot, share so others can. Thank you. And I will popcorn it over to Smiley.
Okay. Hi, hello. I am KingSmileyy. People know me as King. People know me as Smiley. People call me KingSmileyy. You can find me anywhere on the internet as KingSmileyy, but there's an underscore at the very end. You won't see me really necessarily anywhere currently because I'm still trying to get myself out there into other projects. But there's one project that I am in charge of, which I am currently in the works of, which is I'm going to be making a campaign where my players will be in the Soul Eater world, and they will be able to transform into weapons. So, if you want to see that, follow me on socials and stay tuned to see how that plays out, because I will be traumatizing them. Other than that, just follow me somewhere. And if you want to see me in some other places, hey, reach out. Basil.
Hi, everybody. I've been Basil. I played Crow Saltus, the mechanic. The fun fact for the end, I named Crow. Both of their names are types of wrenches because I am that type of weird nerd. You can find me as Kobanya pretty much everywhere except Twitter, where I am Kobanya_Kana. I am a game designer and sensitivity consultant. So if you need a sensitivity consultant, I'm still available, though my availability is shrinking. Generally speaking, I am mostly on the actual play side in one shots due to my demanding day job and chronic fatigue. But there are some projects coming out soonish in the works. So look forward to that. I'm also infrequently in the podcast Cybertopia, which we are coming back for season 2 soonish. We're doing some scheduling. But yeah, feel free to hit me up anytime on my socials as Kobanya or Kobanya Kana. I love making new friends. I love following new people. If you're into puns, you'll love my content. If you're not into shitposts and memes, probably don't follow me because that's what I end up doing in the dead of night. So it's been a fun experience, and I hope everyone had fun and donated or supported.
All right. Well, thank you so much, folks. Have an amazing night. Please come and tune in tomorrow. We have a lot more amazing shows. But until then, may the 4th be with you. Bye.
Bye.